Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jocelyn Boyd, and I'm employed by the Public Service Commission. We are participating in a status conference today regarding two dockets, and they are the first docket is docket number 2024-27-WS. It's the joint application to establish water and sewer service areas and rates and charges in portions of Lexington County and for approval of the sale of utility system from AGC Silver Lake LLC to CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company LLC. The other docket number is 2024-28S. It's the joint application of Central States Water Resources Incorporated and CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company LLC to establish sewer service area and rates and charges in portions of Greenville County and for approval of the sale of utility system from Lookup Forest Homes Association Incorporated to CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company LLC. I'd like to briefly let you know which of my colleagues are present in the hearing room today and participating. Our staff attorney, Sandra Moser, our calendar administrator, Elise Wilson, our live stream producer, Melissa Purvis, who's recording our conference today, our WebEx whiz, Jackie Knight, and our IT director, Randy Erskine. So now we'll move quickly to ask who's present and representing the parties in the docket. First, who's present and participating in docket number 2024-27-WS and representing Central States Water Resources Incorporated and CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company LLC?
Jack Pringle for the applicants in both the dockets.
Thank you very much. That was efficient. So both dockets, 2024-27-WS and 2024-28S. Thank you, Mr. Pringle. Moving on to interveners, Department of Consumer Affairs.
Jake Edwards, here for the Department of Consumer Affairs for both dockets.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edwards. Finally, the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff.
Good afternoon, Joshua Alston with Lenise Mitchell on behalf of ORS in both dockets.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alston and Ms. Mitchell for ORS. Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn the conference over to Attorney Sandra Moser.
Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you all for being available this afternoon. This might be a little unorthodox, but we just wanted to make sure, because of the history of these two dockets, we wanted to make sure that there was an understanding of how the commission is going to move forward with them. And we wanted to make sure that you didn't have any questions or concerns about the agenda items that will be taken up by the commissioners tomorrow. Of course, the agenda language itself is fairly broad. I believe it mentions consideration of procedural issues and other matters. So we wanted to give you a little bit of clarity on that. And we also, as an initial matter, we wanted to let you all know we are treating these applications, these amended applications, under the regulations that existed at the time the original applications were filed. The filing requirements for water and sewer applications have changed, as you know, but those changes won't be applied here. So we are still operating under the regulations that were in place back in January when the initial applications were filed. So as far as tomorrow goes, the commissioners will address the hearings that are currently scheduled for next week. So that you all will not need to have any more questions about those hearings. And the commissioners will set forth a new procedural schedule, as you all know. I wanted to check with each of the parties and make sure everyone is still comfortable with the proposed schedule, the schedule that was sent over and proposed by ORS. So if we can go around and if I can just hear from each of the parties as to that proposed schedule.
Did you want to start with the applicant, Central States
Sure.
Water Resources? Okay.
Mr. Pringle?
Schedule works for us.
Okay. All right. What about DCA?
No objection from DCA.
Okay. And I'm assuming ORS is still comfortable with their proposed schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And of course, commission staff can adjust the schedule as needed, but we just wanted to double check that those dates still worked for you all. Next, even though the applications have been accepted for filing, there are several waiver requests in each application that were previously addressed by commission directive in the last set of applications. And the way that those waiver requests were handled previously was not as to the merits of those waivers, but just simply for acceptance of the filing itself. So those, I wanted to let you all know that those waivers will be taken up tomorrow as part of the agenda items for 27 and 28. So are there any objections to handling those waivers as they were addressed previously by the commission?
You want to start with Central States Water Resources?
Yeah, I mean, if it means that the applications can be, accepted and the dockets can move forward, I think that's great. I still, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just to update everybody for purposes of, where that is. And I didn't want to throw DHEC under the bus. I've asked DHEC FOIA for, the day after that, whenever that initial ruling was some months ago, for the entire files for both Lookup Forest and, everything that DHEC has, and continually been asking, but paid for the entire files and still don't have them yet. So, that's just for what it's worth. But I think certainly, I hope to be in a position, I thought I'd be in a position now to presumably try to address, even though I don't think that, again, my position on wanting to file them or not file them, but I just wanted to update everybody. I'd already talked with some of the parties about this, but that's just in the for what it's worth category. So,
we certainly appreciate that update from you.
yeah.
Okay. Let's go to either DCA or ORS.
I have a quick question for you, Jack. So you weren't able to get any sort of drawings or anything from the previous owners?
Again, I just mentioned I've asked for the entire DHEC files on these things. I'm not aware that there are documents that exist that would address those things. If somebody else has them and wants to, and if somebody else has looked at them, I'd be happy to file them. It's my understanding that they don't exist. But if there's something somebody knows that I'm not aware of, that's
okay. No objection from DCA.
Okay, thank you. And then how about ORS?
We're okay with proceeding the same as before, understanding that we may have issues with whether or not those waivers should be granted, but for purposes of accepting the applications, we're okay with that for now.
Okay. We appreciate that. Thank you. And I think that covers most of what will be addressed tomorrow. There is also going to be that motion for confidential treatment of Exhibit B in the 27WS docket. So that we anticipate the commissioners will also take up. But I just wanted to give you all sort of that clarity because I know the agenda item is a little bit vague. And I also wanted to give you one more opportunity before the commissioners take it up tomorrow in case there is anything that hasn't been addressed, anything you think we need to know. Now's your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sounds like we've got it covered.
Okay, wonderful.
All right. Well,
Thank you, Mr. Pringle, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Austin, and Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you all.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All right, thanks.